Look, I think we just saw the Pittsburgh Steelers, your Pittsburgh Steelers. They just hedged their bets. And what I think's happening here is that the Steelers just hedged their bets in not one, but two ways regarding this recent trade for Jalen Ramsey. Nobody's really talking about what this might mean. And I think this trade might mean a little more than any of us think. So hear me out here. We've seen it. A lot of the talk is that Jalen Ramsey, he might be played primarily in the slot. That's because we're assuming that Porter Jr. and Darius Slay are going to hold down the outside for sure. Maybe he's going to go to safety. That's another narrative. I just profiled a couple players, though, in Juan Thornhill and Sebastian Castro that very well might have the safety locked down opposite Elliott. Go check those videos out a couple days ago. But maybe it's Ramsey's versatility. Maybe that's exactly what this team needs, because most of the history behind Darius Slay, most notably his knee, are raising some red flags here. So that's primarily what I'm going to talk about. Darius Slay's fit for this team, what it means for the corner and safety position. And at the very least, I think this trade, all of these moves, it gives the Steelers an opportunity to extend the careers of not one, but two players once again, limiting wear and tear by rotating guys in and out, keeping them fresh in the short term, but also really protecting the team as well in the long term. So let's kind of get into it here. And what provoked this video was a report by NFL insider Adam Kaplan. He just painted a picture regarding Darius Slay that personally, I think it's a little too negative. Maybe he woke up on the wrong side of the bed here when he wrote this, but I also think it's important because it illustrates the worst case scenario here and the importance of this trade to cover the team if things go south and Darius Slay's body betrays him. So your head coach, you're lucky to have him. You're blessed because he's actually built a reputation, kind of a knack for getting the most value from aging veterans. You can look all the way back to Woodson. But the Steelers' latest reclamation project, it might be the riskiest yet. We're looking at signing cornerback Darius Slay a little bit ago to $10 million, fully guaranteed. And the franchise is placing a really hefty wager, right, on a guy's body that's always already shown signs of a breakdown. And I don't know. We'll see how this comes out because the warning signs are really hard to ignore, right? NFL insider Adam Kaplan, once again, he raised the red flags here. He revealed that Slay's knee is a serious concern. He's 34 years old. He's not a spring chicken, and he had arthroscopic surgery recently. The veteran is walking a tightrope between remaining productive and also kind of slipping into mediocrity. So let's hear directly from him. Once again, I think this is a super negative view. This isn't usually where I go. But I think it's important to go a little heavier there so you can see where the Steelers might be moving towards shoring things up if it's the worst case scenario that happens. So let's hear from Kaplan. You never know when a guy is going to lose it, and they could lose it in an instant. He's talking about a blunt reality check here. It's not a surprise injury or a sudden decline either because these knee issues, they're a recurring problem in Philadelphia, especially down the stretch 2 years ago in 2023. So we're looking at the Eagles watching their former Pro Bowl corner become really a December liability. He eventually underwent that scope on his knee just before the playoffs, and that really thinned their defensive depth at the worst possible moment that year. And then you're looking at Philadelphia's coaching staff. They did absolutely everything that they could to manage his reps, really manage this injury. They limited practice time. They modified his workloads. They even made game time decisions that they really were trying to take care of their veteran player as well as possible. And then you're looking at their head coach, Nick Sirianni. Can't say his name for some reason. He ended up finally announcing the procedure. And it wasn't really breaking news. It sounded like an overdue update. And now it's in Pittsburgh's court. Now it is time for Pittsburgh to decide what to do with Darius Slay. And Darius Slay's been eyeing joining the Pittsburgh Steelers for literally years. He's openly expressed admiration for Mike Tomlin for so long. And then you had star defenders like TJ Watt and Cam Hayward. They were totally on board bringing him onto the team. They recruited him during these past few free agency cycles, but timing is where it shook out now. Now he's in Pittsburgh. I mean, Kaplan says he's a shell of the playmaker that he once was, but I think he's still a legit great quarter if this knee holds up. So we're looking at the Eagles' decision to walk away, telling a story as well, possibly. They had full access to his medical file, and so does Pittsburgh, but the Eagles chose to absorb the financial hit instead of gambling on one more late season performance by him. I think the 2023 breakdown really spooked them, but the Steelers are willing to roll the dice. So we're looking at a Super Bowl winning front office, not wanting to keep a 6-time Pro Bowler, but hopefully this is their loss, your gain. So we're looking at every concern that Philly tried to manage is now in Pittsburgh. And we're kind of also looking at a really narrow championship window for the Steelers. It's obvious that the Steelers are absolutely going for it. And now you're looking at the Steelers trading for Jalen Ramsey, partially as a contingency plan, I believe, hedging their bets. But insurance is only good if you don't have to use it, right? We want a full complement of players here, but I really like this mix. I really like this trade because it really hedges the Steelers' bets in case the worst thing happens. We are looking at a contract that kind of magnifies the risk, though. We're looking at a $10 million guaranteed contract, but it's definitely a one-year prove-it contract to a Pro Bowl player whose recent availability has been in question. But maybe one of the great things that the Steelers have done is they've gotten kind of a coach on the field, a guy in the locker room that was an incredible mentor for the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's actually to the point that he aided in their young secondary players ascending to the point that he kind of made himself expendable. And I think this is one of the main reasons that I really love this signing as well. They're hedging their bets to also really kind of fix this locker room. We've had some bad attitude players get out of town on defense and on offense. I don't think I need to mention the names, but we're looking at Slay revealing in his interview recently of Mina Kimes that he actually wants to help fix Joey Porter Jr.'s issues with penalties and also improve his game in the interceptions department as well. So let's really look at this because Porter Jr. has only had 2 interceptions through his first 2 seasons playing for the Steelers, and we want more production from him, right? Let's hear directly from Slay talking to Mina Kimes. They say he can't catch, but we're going to fix that. We're going to catch the rock this year. And this is coming from a guy that knows what he's doing. He's recorded 28 interceptions in his decorated career. At 34 years old, Super Bowl champion, 8-time Pro Bowler, and he's been a first-team All-Pro selection in 2017 under his belt as well. And I think he is part of the formula to give Porter and the Steelers' young cornerbacks room kind of the same wisdom that was imparted to Philadelphia Eagles rookies, right? We've got Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, great Super Bowl title run, and even they credit a lot of their ascension to one Darius Slay. A little more from Darius. I have a good resume of younger guys trying to help build them. That's my job. I'm just here to help him do everything I can to make sure he succeeds at what he does, still talking about Joey Porter Jr., and try to get him to be one of the best in the game. You guys, I think all these signings are really, really good for you guys as Pittsburgh Steelers fans. I think it definitely is hedging your bets in a really good way. You're looking at Ramsey, you're looking at Slay, you're looking at Porter, you're looking at all of these players kind of being a perfect mix with also having the versatility that if needed, a guy like Ramsey, he can bounce out to safety. But what I really want to see is Darius Slay healthy, these guys being able to rotate in and out at slot and outside to really not only give fresh legs for this team, but extend the careers for a couple really, really, really good former Pro Bowl players. And I don't know how you could be unhappy with this. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. This is a young channel. You guys have been such a huge part of growing it. I appreciate you, and I'll continue to give you a daily outsider's view, kind of a non-fan view, an impartial view of your Pittsburgh Steelers. And I can't wait to do another video for tomorrow. You guys, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.